Have you heard about the Etihad Stadium, home to the pride of the town, Manchester City? If you've ever tried to grab tickets for a match, you know exactly how tough it can be. The stadium is packed to the brim every game day, and those tickets gone in the blink of an eye. It leaves so many devoted fans frustrated, waiting for a chance to be part of the action. But here's the exciting part. Manchester City has a plan, a $300 million expansion in the works, with nearly 7,900 new seats on the way. What does this mean for you, the fans? More than just a ticket, it's a chance to be part of something bigger. Today, we're going to take you behind the scenes of this massive stadium expansion. We'll walk you through exactly where the new seats are going to be added, giving you an inside look at the current state of construction. And this is all about creating the ultimate matchday experience. And it's bigger than anything you've seen before. Stick around, because by the end, you'll see how this stadium is about to set a whole new standard. Let us take you back to 2003, when Manchester City is about to say goodbye to their old home, Main Road, and step into a brand new era. Their new home, the city of Manchester Stadium, now known as the Etihad, thanks to a major sponsorship deal. Built by Lane Construction for a whopping £112 million, this masterpiece was crafted by the brilliant minds at Arup. What makes it special? Its unique cable-stayed roof, fully supported by just 12 exterior masts and cables. It's the kind of design that not only stands out visually, but it's also reshaped how stadiums are engineered. In fact, this stadium didn't just impress people, it's won awards. The Royal Institute of British Architects recognized it in 2004 for its inclusive design, and the Institution of Structural Engineers, well, they gave it a special award in 2003 for its one-of-a-kind structure. But here's something that you may not know. This stadium wasn't originally built for football. It was actually used in the 2002 Commonwealth Games, and yeah, it even had an athletic track circling it. That's right, a track. But as soon as Manchester City moved in, they had bigger plans, literally. Over time, the track was removed and the pitch was expanded to give the fans a closer, more intense experience. Fast forward a few years, and City's new home was about to get its first facelift. In 2010, they renovated the football pitch and upgraded the hospitality areas. It was a sign that this was just the beginning of something bigger. Then, between 2011 and 2014, something incredible happened. Season ticket sales exploded, surpassing 36,000. The club, well, they couldn't ignore the demand, so they made a bold move. They expanded the stadium capacity during the 2014-2015 season. Despite these plans being stalled, a $300 million renovation plan has just been approved, and it's set to completely transform the stadium experience. But this isn't just about adding more seats. What if they told you they're building a hotel inside the stadium? Yeah, it's true. A brand new hotel will be part of the North Stand expansion, along with a covered fan park that can host up to 6,000 people. Imagine watching your favorite team play and then heading straight to a fan zone without ever leaving the grounds. That's just the beginning. They're adding 7,900 extra seats, turning the North Stand into one of the most exciting spots in the stadium. And get this, they're building a sky bar that connects directly to the new hotel. Can you picture the view from up there? Of course, they're going all out with VIP areas and 450 premium seats, making sure the Etihad isn't just bigger, it's better in every way. When it's all said and done, the stadium's capacity will rise to a whopping 61,474. That'll make it the fourth largest stadium in the UK, right behind Old Trafford, the London Stadium, and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. In the late 1980s, when Manchester had its sights set on hosting the 1996 Summer Olympics, the plan, it was to build an 80,000-seater stadium west of the city centre. But guess what? Manchester didn't get the Olympics. Atlanta took the spotlight instead. Now, you'd think that would just be the end of the story, but here is where things get interesting. Manchester, well, they didn't give up. Just 4 years later, the city council came back with an even smarter plan. This time, they aimed to build the stadium on a brownfield site, about 1.6 kilometers east of the city centre. It was an old, abandoned area known as Eastlands, where Bradford Colliery used to stand, but the council had a secret weapon: new government legislation focused on urban renewal. With this shift, not only did they have a better location, but they also had the government backing for funding. In 1992, things started moving, with the government helping to clear the land, paving the way for what would eventually become something much bigger than anyone expected. It's 1993. Manchester is fired up, ready to bring the Olympics to their city. The City Council presents this massive 80,000 capacity stadium design, crafted by a top-notch firm, Arup, the same guys who scouted out the Eastland sites. But here's where the story takes a twist. September 23, 1993. Sydney snatches the Olympic Games bid right out of Manchester's hands. But Manchester doesn't just throw in the towel. A year later, they took that very same stadium design and pitched it up to the Millennium Commission as a Millennium Stadium. Well, they got rejected again. But instead of packing up and going home, Manchester tries a different approach. They shifted their focus to the 2002 Commonwealth Games. Same site, smaller stadium plan, and this time, it works. Manchester secures the bid. Fast forward to 1996, and that very stadium design goes head-to-head with Wembley Stadium, both vying to be the next national stadium for England. But in the end, the funding heads to Wembley for redevelopment. When Manchester City Council planned the development, they weren't just looking to build another stadium. They needed something big, something iconic that would symbolize the rebirth of a once heavily industrialized area around the Bradford Colliery. And more than just a symbol, they wanted to create an unforgettable experience for spectators, a stadium with incredible views and an atmosphere that would leave a lasting impression. Enter Arup, the designers behind the project. They had a vision to create an intimate yet intense arena that feels almost gladiatorial, like stepping into an ancient Roman amphitheater. The pitch itself, 6 meters below ground level, just like where Roman gladiators once fought. This wasn't just going to be a football stadium, it was going to feel like an arena built for battle, designed to draw spectators in and make them feel like they're part of the action. But let's talk about the roof. It's more than just a cover from the rain, it's an architectural heart of the stadium. The design is groundbreaking, literally held together by a tension system that pushes the boundaries of engineering. The roof seems to float above the stadium, supported by 12 massive cigar-shaped masts, the tallest of which rises 70 meters into the sky. These masts, well, they're not just for show, they provide the backbone of the entire roof structure. And those 8 spiral ramps leading up to the upper seats, they look like turrets, adding to the fortress-like vibe of the stadium. The stadium is the centerpiece of Sports City, which includes several other nationally important sporting venues. Right next door, there's the Manchester Regional Arena. Maybe you've heard of it. Back during the Commonwealth Games, this arena was where athletes warmed up before their big events. It's hosted some pretty big events as well. National Athletic Trials, the AAA Championships, even the Paralympic World Cup. And get this, it was once home to Manchester City's women's team and their under-21 reserve squad. Right now, it's where the Manchester Rangers and amateur rugby league team calls home, but that's not all. This place, it has history, and it continues to be the stage for big-time sports moments. To Manchester, football isn't just a sport, it's a way of life. Think about it. How many cities can boast not one, but 2 world-class football clubs in the same town? It's a short list. Milan, Madrid, London, and of course, Manchester. Pretty impressive, right? And these 2 Premier League giants, they're not just sharing a city, they're fierce rivals. Manchester City and Manchester United, the blue and the red halves of the city, they stand just 4 miles apart. That's like 70 football fields lined up back to back. And despite being so close, their stories couldn't be more different. United, they've had their glory days, but if we're being honest, a lot of that is in the past. City though, they're on fire, especially since they made the Etihad Stadium their new home. Now, if you've ever been there on a match day, you already know what we're talking about. The streets of East Manchester are absolutely alive. Tens of thousands of fans, all dressed in blue, flooding the streets like a wave of energy. Businesses thrive, the local economy gets a boost, and there's this undeniable buzz in the air. It's only there on game days. The rest of the week, well, it's a ghost town. Empty streets, grey skies, and not much else. So, what do you do about that? Well, the city came up with a solution, a $300 million expansion. But it's not just about making the stadium bigger. No, they're planning to transform the entire area into a buzzing hub that's alive every single day of the week. Danny Wilson, the man in charge of operations, he says it perfectly. This development isn't just about expanding for fans and visitors, it's about long-term economic and social benefits for our community. Now, let's break it down. This isn't just about football, it's about reviving a place that once powered the Industrial Revolution. The stadium expansion? It's going to create 195 full-time jobs and over 3,000 total jobs. That's like giving a small town a fresh start. Imagine what that means for East Manchester. The plan is to turn the area into a buzzing hub of sports and entertainment, a city within a city. Let us take you behind the scenes of something truly exciting. a new steel framework going up in the north stand. This isn't just any construction project. We're talking about steel beams so massive they could probably hold up a couple of jumbo jets. Yeah, it is that big. But what's really cool, it's not just about making more room for fans, they're adding a skybar and a stadium roof walk. Can you imagine that? You're sipping your favourite drink, watching the sunset over Manchester, with the entire pitch spread out below you like a giant green carpet. Back in April 2014, steel frameworks were put in place around the north stand as construction work started. Additionally, work has started on the build of a new fan zone at the back of the stand and the new hotel. Fast forward to May, and the contractors are working double time. They're speeding things up inside, making sure that everything is on track. You'll start noticing cranes all around, and you can see the hotel's concrete cores rising right from the ground, slowly transforming the place we know. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Danny Wilson, the managing director of Manchester City operations, gave an update that will make every City fan pumped. He said, even though the football season is over, construction is moving at full throttle. If you look around, the skyline at the stadium is already changing. You can see the future of the Etihad taking shape right in front of your eyes. Let's talk about the most important thing on everyone's mind when it comes to big stadium upgrades: safety. It's non-negotiable, right? And right now, engineers are pulling off a balancing act that feels like something straight out of Cirque du Soleil. They're expanding the north stand of the stadium, but they have to make sure it blends perfectly with the existing structure. It's not just about looking good, it's about making sure everything holds up structurally. And if you're wondering how they're doing all of this while the stadium is still in use, imagine this. It's like renovating your kitchen while still cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. It sounds chaotic, right? That's exactly how Danny Wilson described it. It's a logistical challenge that requires some seriously careful planning and execution, but they're not backing down. Construction kicks off in November 2023, and the new North Stand, it's expected to be ready just in time for the 2025-26 season. This is Manchester City's vision, to make the stadium a year-round destination, not just for match days, but for everyone. If you're a die-hard fan, or you're just looking for a fun day out, the fan zone will have something for you. It's not just football anymore, it's an experience. Plus, the new 400-bed hotel, being built right next to the stadium, will offer fans and tourists a chance to live the ultimate football dream. It's not just a place to crash after the game, it's a full-on immersive experience. From the moment you check in to the matchday buzz in the air, local schools and clubs will also get access to top-notch facilities, meaning the future generation of footballers will benefit too. On August 10, 2003, Manchester City fans packed into a brand new stadium for the first public football match. And it wasn't just any game, it was a friendly against Barcelona. That's right, City was up against one of the biggest names in football. The roar of the crowd as Nicolas Anelka scored the very first goal in this iconic stadium, unforgettable. City went on to win 2-1, a perfect start, right? 4 days later, the first competitive match took place, and City, they didn't hold back. It was a UEFA Cup match against Total Network Solutions, a team from the Welsh Premier League. City absolutely dominated, winning 5-0. Trevor Sinclair made history by scoring the first competitive goal in the stadium, cementing his place in City's legacy. And then, on August 23rd, the moment every City fan had been waiting for, the first Premier League home match in this new fortress. They went up against Portsmouth. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Portsmouth's Yakubu was the first to score a league goal in the stadium, but City's David Somiel quickly responded, becoming the first City player to score in the Premier League at home. This game ended in a 1-1 draw, but the history was already being written. Imagine you're just 2.5 kilometers from the heart of Manchester. It's a quick, straightforward walk from Manchester Piccadilly railway station, and in just 20 minutes, you're there. The path is well lit, clearly signposted, and you'll even spot stewards guiding the way as you get closer to the stadium. Now, if walking isn't your thing, no worries, there's a tram stop right at Piccadilly Station, and on match days, they double the trams and frequency, so there's always a ride for you. These trams zip down the East Manchester line and drop you off at the Etihad campus, just a stone's throw from the stadium's north entrance on Joe Mercer Way. And get this, if you're coming straight from Manchester City Centre, just hop on the tram at Piccadilly Gardens. 10 minutes later, boom, you're at the stadium, ready for the match. It's that smooth. Did you know that outside of the football season, this stadium turns into one of the UK's biggest music venues? With a massive capacity of 60,000, it's where some of the biggest summer concerts take place. It used to be the largest concert venue in England until Wembley Stadium was built, but there's something about the atmosphere here that still makes it unforgettable. you can be part of a crowd that size watching your favorite band on that stage. It's more than just a concert, it's an experience. And it's just the beginning. What if this expansion completely changes how you experience football? What if you're part of the moment when the Etihad becomes more than just a stadium, but the heartbeat of Manchester? Let us know in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and share this video with your fellow fans. See you next time.